Come in, 1, 2, testing 1, 2.
Yes, yes. This scenic town of Paarl was founded back in 1657 and is now the heartbeat of the winelands of the Western Cape. Paarl Gymnasium is a school situated at the foothills of the Paarl Mountain and has called this historic town home for the past 164 years. Today they play host to the Maroon Machine from Stellenbosch, a school that was founded in 1866 and named Stellenbosch Gymnasium. In 1946, the school moved to new buildings next to the Eerste Rivier and renamed after the first Springbok captain, Paarl Roos, a name they have done proud over the last 76 years. If ever there was an historic Premier Inter-Schools clash, this is it. Two giants of South African schoolboy rugby meeting for the umpteenth time. And the last time Paarl Roos was victorious was back in 2018 with a scoreline of 32-13 on this year's field. So many years ago. Since then, it's all been Paarl Gymnasium with victories in 2019 of 42-10 and another victory in 2021 with a scoreboard reading 25-10 in favour of the men from Paarl. Is today the day that Paarl Roos turns the tables against a Paarl Gym team who is undoubtedly the clear favourites for this mouth-watering encounter. With me in the commentary booth today, a man that needs no introduction, played for the Stormans, played for South African A in the midfield, Morgan Newman. Great to have you here.
Good afternoon, Andres. Thanks for having me, and yeah, great to be down here in Paarl. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this, does it? The Maroon Machine, as you've already mentioned, up against the men, the home side, the Paarl Gym, down here in Paarl. And if the second team games was anything to go by, then I think we're in for a real treat. The quality of rugby has been of the highest standard. The conditions are perfect for running rugby this afternoon. And there we see the starting lineup from Paarl Gymnasium.
Paarl Gymnasium first team, what a fantastic start to the year. They've had one loss against Affis, something that they'd like to correct. A massive win against Grey College. Big names missing from that team sheet. Luca Bakker is probably one of them that you would have wanted to see in there, but still a lot of talent. Philip Albert van Niekerk, Janelle Losbert in the midfield. Henrik Liederman, also a guy that likes to get things going. Massive pack of forwards. Do Paarl Gymnasium have, and do they have enough talent on the bench to keep the momentum going once they've started? Past results for the Paarl Gymnasium team have not just gone all their way. They've got the one blemish where they lost 29-26 against Affis. They've corrected that against Grey College with a massive win at the Wilde Festival just a couple of days ago, and something they would build on going into this game. The Paarl Roos Gymnasium team, they've had a slow start to the year, have the men from Stellenbosch, Rihanna Hurst, the tight head prop, have a look at him, a massive human being. And they'd look at their backline players, Ruben Noble, Christian Brandt, and then Jerenzo Julius. What a sensation he has been at the Wilde for schoolboy rugby in South Africa. Massively built outside centre, hailing from Namibia. And then Christoph de Bruin, he's been good for Paarl Roos. Again, the bench will be important in this game, Morgan. It's a fantastic day for rugby. The wind is blowing on left to right on the screens as you see it. It's not just a slight breeze, Morgan. It's more than a breeze. It's a wind blowing out here this afternoon, and that will certainly have a toll on today's result.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think, benches are going to have a real impact. You've already mentioned both teams will be using players from the second teams to sit on their bench. And I think bringing that or maintaining that momentum when the changes eventually do come will be of utmost importance for the coaches and for the players if it goes down to the wire.
The home team this afternoon, Paarl Gymnasium, they come in with a bit of momentum with victories over Wynberg 33-14, another victory over Helpmekaar 59-12 that time, and then that massive win over Grey College from Bloemfontein 22-17. Has that effort they had to put in to get that result taken it out of them, and maybe given this Paarl Roos side who has had a really slow start to the season or to the year, Morgan, they started with losers against Affis and Helpmekaar at the Northern South tournament. Massive win over Glenwood just 2 weeks ago, 43 points to 20, and then Garsfontein lost 18-19 against Garsfontein, a game that they lost in the last minute of the game in Kimberley.
Yeah, without a doubt, they'll be reeling from that loss, and often coming off the back of a loss, teams can be very dangerous, and if they start well in this fixture, I think we're in for a real treat.
Do look at the schoolboys and girls standing on the field, waiting for their teams to make their ways onto the field. Both these teams, strong rugby histories in South African rugby. Morgan produced numerous Springboks. Tough to name them all. notable Springboks on the side of the Paarl Gymnasium team. Jaapie Leroux was the first Springbok and Springbok number 94 for Paarl Gymnasium. Jan Pickard from the famous Pickard family, also hailing from this small school in Paarl. Skalkberger, junior and senior, both came to this institution, and then Kobus Visabali Swart need no introduction. The coach for the Paarl Gymnasium team this afternoon, Pieter Rousseau, a man who played for the second team in his matric year, graduated to become a Springbok later in life. Louis Kuhn, the sharpshooter for the Springboks. His son Liam Kuhn was the starting flyer for this Paarl Gymnasium first team, unfortunately out with injury today. Sustained a serious shoulder injury at the Volderklawe Festival. Then David Barry, John Avilius, Mario Joubert, the centre sensation for this Paarl Gymnasium school. And then, of course, it'd kill me if I didn't say it, Mario Skuman, also a Springbok from Paarl Gymnasium, albeit a 7th Springbok and an influential one at that. As we look at the Paarl Roos supporters leading their team out onto the field, led out by their inspirational captain from Paarl Roos, Herman Lawrence, and boy have they got a game on their hand this afternoon. Springbok from the Paarl Roos team is obviously Paarl Roos, and then the 91 Paarl Roos team, Justin Swart and Kobus Visagie, were unbeaten, and the only unbeaten team in this fantastic school's rugby history. Skalk Bratz, a World Cup winner from Paarl Roos, Andries Bakker and Francois Hogod, also recent Springboks, and then Willie Leroux, Damian Valenta and Herschel Yankees, all World Cup winners, all hailing from the Paarl Roos school in Stellenbosch. The Maroon Machine, as we look at this Paarl Gym team led out by Pierre van Nicker. What a game we have on our hands this afternoon, Morgs.
Yeah, and if the run-on is anything to go by, then we're in. I mean, just so impressive from both schools. G'ing their school up, G'ing their team up. And once the dust settles, the opening 5 minutes will set the tone for what's to come this afternoon.
And this pre-game ritual from the Paarl Gym team has become a household thing in South African schoolboy rugby. Gets them going in the right direction. Playing into the breeze or the wind of the Paarl Gymnasium team in this first half. The table has been set. Morgan, we are up for one massive game. Christophe de Bruin playing in the fullback position, waiting to get things started. Referee Lloyd Hagland blows his whistle, and de Bruin gets us going, goes into the left-hand corner with a deep kick, left to bounce into the end goal area and coming all the way back to the halfway line. And that is just a testament of the strength of this wind blowing in the backs of the Paarl Roos team.
Yeah, there's definitely a strong breeze that's been picking up throughout the morning and now into the afternoon. And as we mentioned in that second team game, Andries, angles is going to be of utmost importance. And the ball just unfortunately rolling over the dead ball, resulting in a midfield scrum straight up.
John Fourie, John Hanekom, Bernard Vladegroen for this Paarl Gym team. Up again, Wilbur Loubser, Seth Haddad and Renu Hurst, the man from Parys in the Free State for the first scrum. Referee says an early engage by the Paarl Gym team. Free kick going the way of Paarl Roos, and they were just sigh a relief there after that kickoff and bringing them back for the scrum.
Paarl Roos obviously backing their scrum, and I think they'll have to score, they'll have to control field possession in this opening couple of minutes. They do have the wind at their backs.
Traditionally a strong scrummaging region is Stellenbosch. They've produced a couple of Springboks. Reno Hurst in the tight head prop up against John Fourie. First scrum of the game, always something to have a look at. Solid scrum into the hands of Lorenzo Julius, the exciting outside centre for Paarl Roos, forcing that offload and ball going into touch with the option of a line-out or scrum going the way of this Paarl Gymnasium team. Keep an eye out for Lorenzo Julius. He has the ability to win a game almost by himself. A massive boy from Namibia, and the ball just spilling into touch. John Hanekom with the first feed into the line out. Keanu could see her going up, was taken by the captain of Paarl Roos, Herman Lawrence. Now Reno Hurst, we've spoken about this man, fantastic carry, gets his team over the goal line. Now Standard finds Hubert. Standard again into the hands of Noble. Noble opting to go himself, looked after this impressive Paarl Gymnasium defense. Standard, Reno Hurst for the second time in this game, and it takes 3 players to stop that big human being. It's the captain, Herman Lawrence. He wants to play now. Coming back to the blind side, Lorenzo Julius looks after one, taken care by Keanu Katsia, and a massive carry by the outside centre, Lorenzo Julius, making his presence felt early up in this game. What looks like to be John Fourie, I beg your pardon, Willie de Waal just feeling the steel of that tackle. Tremendous start, Morgan. How is the excitement levels of this game?
Yeah, I'm getting caught up here, Andries, without a doubt. Nice strong carry by the outside centre. Nice low centre of gravity. Carries nice and strong. And taking play now up to the 22 of Paarl Gym.
Luke Graham for Paarl Roos, opting to go a touch. Again, not his best kick. Would have wanted that one to sail over the touchline, 5 meters out from the Paarl Gymnasium try line. A kickable penalty, opting to go a touch. Did the Paarl Roos team, and they are here to play. Haddad finds Oosthuizen. Good sack by the Paarl Gymnasium team. Ball is available. Standard out the back. Finds Philip Groenewald. The Paarl Gymnasium team get their hands onto the ball illegally, so now it is Sampi Hubert again, just getting over the goal line. Massive tackle this time by Willie de Waal on Viat Stradom. Standard. Marais this time. Standard again. Another carry by Sampi Hubert. He wants to play rugby today. Now it is into the hands of Noble. Finds Julius. Tough man to tackle. We've seen that. Looked after. This time Willie de Waal is up for the challenge. Standard. Hurst. Tough man to bring down. Gets over the gain line once again. Standard, slow ball out the back to Noble. Looking for space on the left-hand side, into the hands of the Brain. Beats the first tackle. Holding on to the ball of the Paarl Roos team. Now the captain, Lawrence. Standard, slow ball. Marais. Good tackle by Dean Cross. Penalty goes away of the Stellenbosch outfit. The Maroon Machine is here to play. Holding on to the ball and putting this impressive Paarl Gymnasium defense under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Paarl Roos maintaining possession there, and obviously always putting the ball through a number of different phases, and unfortunately Paarl Gym discipline eventually letting them down. And kickable penalty up for grabs.
We saw them turn down an opportunity to go for 3 points early on, and almost from the same position. Probably feel that the defense they're facing here this afternoon is up to standard, and opting to go for the 3 instead. Christophe de Bruin, fullback from Paarl Roos, lining up the first kick of this game.
His school sending him some good omens, it seems.
Impressive goal kicker is Christophe de Bruin. I don't want to put knickers on him, but good strike. Raises the flags. 3 points, plays 0 in this fixture. 6 minutes in. Paarl Roos Gymnasium, the visitors out here this afternoon, take the early lead. Carl Smith, the number 10 jumper for Paarl Gymnasium. Grade 11 student, fantastic cricketer as well. Gets one into the middle of the field. Comes back to the way of Enrique Liederman. Losberg forcing that pass, and just under a bit of pressure are the Paarl Gymnasium team at the moment. Ball going to touch after a knock-on, and then Paarl Roos opting to go for the scrum. Janelle Losberg keep an eye out for that man. Got awarded the Player of the Weekend or Tournament Award at the Volderklave Festival a week ago. A very exciting young talent. Second scrum of this game. Stander has handled this ball more than anyone else on the field. Big challenge between Reno Hurst and John Fourie. Standing his ground as Reno Hurst into the hands of Groenewald. Out the back, Noble finds Brandt, Christian Brandt, looked after by Paarl Gymnasium. Now Stander again. Good counter ruck by Pierre van Niekerk, the captain for this Paarl Gymnasium team. Fantastic over the ball and strong over the ball as well. Is the inside centre for Paarl Gymnasium. Now it is Lawrence. Slow ball. Stander setting up for the hoist with this win, with Luke Graham giving chase. Try scoring machine for Paul Roos as Luke Graham looked after by Lideman. On the left hand side of the field, up against the touch, Pierre van Niekerk finds the big man John Fourie. Pierre van Niekerk against Smith with a show and go. The grade 11 student tried to force that offload. Lideman, Pierre van Niekerk, Losper through the hands to Johandre van Niekerk. Lideman spots a bit of space with the offload to John Hanekom. Lideman again. Smith out the back, Pierre van Niekerk couldn't get hold of that. Now this is Luke Graham's. I wanted to say that is what he looks for. Luke Graham, an opportunistic try, quick 14 right-hand wing for the Paarl Roos team. Fantastic defense, one has to say, by the team from Stellenbosch.
Yeah, really, really good defense there by Paarl Roos. There we see a replay. Nice and quick hands down the backline. Unfortunately, the ball just not going to hand. Potentially a chance to kick it through. But well retained there by Paarl Gym. Could have been very, very different result had that ball been kicked through. So good attack and good defense. Playing between the 10s currently. And must be said, Paarl Roos will be very happy with this opening 10 minutes of play. Currently with a 3-0 lead and gaining confidence as we speak.
Philly de Waal just needing some attention. He's got some blood on his face. Small stoppage in play. Sort that out. It's been an insane start to this game, Hawks. Everyone on this field seems to have touched the ball numerous times. We've seen phase after phase after phase. Tremendous skill being showed by these players out here this afternoon. Stiff breeze blowing from left to right on your screens. Paarl Roos having the advantage of the wind at their backs at the moment. Third scrum of this game. Loubser, Hurst, Haddad. That want to give their back line solid set piece ball to attack from. Stander feeds scrum, comes up the right hand side. Luke Graham waiting for opportunity. Stander finds a bit of space on the right hand side. Losgaard's tackle, quick ball for Paarl Roos. Carried by Loubser. Stander waiting for quick ball. Unfortunately, that ball knocked on in the tackle by the Paarl Roos team, and the scrum going the way of Paarl Gymnasium.
Once again, a really good play there from Paarl Roos, going up the right-hand side of the field, outflanking. The scrum of outflanking the cover defense, holding onto the ball, putting it through phases, and unfortunately the knock-on just coming.
Tough position on the field to exit from in the corner. Wind in your face. Look at Loaded Toy to carry into the defense and to give his kickers two sides to kick to.
Stay 1 meter, stay 1 meter. Okay, let's use it now.
Lideman to the captain. Van Niekerk beats the first defenders. Looked after by White Stradom. Viat Stradom. Unfortunately for Paarl Roos team, deemed to have been offside by the referee Hagland. And an easy exit coming the way for the Paarl Gymnasium team.
Yeah, Paarl Roos coach pulling their hair out. As you already mentioned, difficult place in the field to exit. You don't want to be giving away free yardage and free penalties, specifically from that position on the field, and silly penalty to concede.
Not the cleanest strike from Carl Smith, but a good touch found by the grade 11 student. Now John Hanekom playing today in the place of one of their talisman, Luca Bacchus. He's got some shoes to fill.
9.
Goes to the back. Giano Kitsia goes up for an extremely tough ball. The back ball in a line out in conditions like these. But have no doubt, these youngsters will always back themselves against the odds.
The line out is somewhat easier scrum of the you must tell your team. The line out is never played it off.
Fourth time today, Rihanna Hurst, John Ferry will be up against each other. Another attacking scrum for Paarl Roos. We saw them previously come up the blind side. With Stander finding some space. They've got the entire back line stacked up on the left-hand side of the field. Looks like they will have one sneaky move up their sleeve. Fantastic to have the school support there. Team on the field, both schools being out here in full force.
Yeah, great opportunity to attack here for Paarl Roos. Seems as though they've got a backline move coming up. Bring their nice strong ball carriers of 13 and 14 into the game.
Stander, and a penalty goes away for Paarl Roos. Bernard Bladdergroen just losing his mind. The young tight head prop from Paarl Gymnasium, and then another kickable opportunity for this Paarl Roos team. Opting to go for touch is Luke Graham once again. Interesting, Morgs, that on 2 occasions they've had opportunities to kick at goal with a breeze at their backs, and they're opting to go for the kick to touch. Again, Luke Graham not finding touch exactly where he would have wanted, not getting enough off this field. You know, if you want to take the chance, try and kick it into the corner to really give yourself a chance of scoring a try from the driving ball. Yeah, straight on my proof now. Haddad.
Like sack, collapse more.
Slow ball for Paarl Roos. Out it is. Reno Hurst, the ball out. Still manages to get over the game line. Penalty goes away for Paarl Roos. Unfortunately so.
Yeah, I must agree with you there with regards to the penalties, Andres. I would probably be going for Paarl's now. Test match feel to this game. Put the points on the board. But obviously backing their line-out drive. And it must be said that Paarl Gym have sacked really well this afternoon so far. And I suspect much of the same.
Paarl Gymnasium notorious for having a very, very good set piece, both in defense and attack.
Boys, let's just get the timing right on the set.
Big call by Captain Herman Lawrence to look up touch for the 3rd time in this game. Paarl Roos feeling a bit of momentum. Captain overthrow. Reno Hurst, the big tight head forward with his hands on the ball. Stander into the hands of Leifja. Stander again. They want quick ball here too. Paarl Roos. Marie. Penalty again goes away of Paarl Roos Gymnasium, and they are certainly testing and stretching the defense of Paarl Gymnasium. 3rd penalty in a row, Morgs, and now Captain Herman Lawrence opting to go for the easy 3 points. And one has to say that is the smart call. They've worked hard to get into this position. They've tested this Paarl Gymnasium defense, and you have to get some sort of reward for all your hard work.
Funny, it's a bit of a catch-22. You know, I saw that their captain going to remind the referee penalty count is mounting, and potentially the next penalty could have resulted in potential card, you know, for infringement. So do you go for the 3 points? Do you keep the pressure on? You know, the wind is at your back. You've already let 2 go, but nonetheless, decision has been made.
Crystal de Bruin adding an extra 3 points to the scoreboard of this Paarl Roos team, now leading 6 points to 0, 15 minutes in to what has been an scintillating encounter between Paarl Gymnasium and Paarl Roos from Stellenbosch. Smith gets things underway. Allowed him to bounce, looked after by Sampi Ubad.
Counter only, hey? Counter is fine.
Andreas Oosthuizen, turnover ball, and this is where Paarl Gymnasium come alive. Turnover ball. Now Lideman finds Fourie out the back. Carl Steyn couldn't look after that. Now it is Van Niekerk. Finds Carl Smith again. Looked after by Paul Roos. Lideman now. Daniel Botha. Big lock forward. Driven back by Lorenzo Julies.
Counter, Rakoni.
Lideman, slow ball into the hands of Dean Cross.
He's blocking him in
Lideman waiting now. Philip Albert, Van Niekerk. Strong captain for Paarl Gymnasium, getting over the gain line and quick line out ball again. Botha with a strong carry.
No hands.
Lideman with quick ball. This is where they become dangerous. Losberg, player of the tournament at Wilde coming the same way. Fourie, looked after by Liam Stander from Paul Roos, keeping him up. Deemed to have been a tackle now. Referee says it has been a maul. Turnover ball, Paul Roos. What a phase of defense by the men from Stellenbosch.
Yeah, really good defense there by the men from Paul Roos. Really looked as though that damn wall was going to break with the momentum that Paul Gym were gaining. But again, offensive tackles. Really getting nice and physical, standing up to that onslaught. And there we see it again.
Held up by probably the smallest man on the field in Liam Stander.
Liam Stander up against the big boys.
Exceptionally well to keep the man up. Now the scrum for Paul Roos in their own half this time.
Sit.
Bruno Hurst with Andreas Oosthuizen on his flank. Stander under a bit of pressure. Good kick up the field. Now it is Van Niekerk filling the boots of Sean Ray, who had a man of the match performance against Grey College last weekend. Bloodachru now. Strong, tight head prop for Paul Roos. Slow ball for the Paul Roos team. Unfortunately, Luke Graham opportunistic. Right wing for the Paul Roos team. That is what he loves to do. Unfortunately, at the breakdown, infringement by Paul Roos Gymnasium, and now penalty goes away of the Paarl Gym team. So look at that, Luke Graham again, such an opportunistic player. Pizza from Stellenbosch. Carl Smith try and look up touch, finds a good one. And this is going to be our first chance to observe what has become a very famous driving maul by this Paarl Gymnasium team, under the leadership or guidance, I might add, of their forwards coach in Helmut Heyman.
No more collapse.
Keanu could see a penalty advantage for a sack or early sack by Paul Roos. Pierre Van Niekerk finding a bit of space. Is a tough man to bring down. Is the inside centre from Paarl Gym now. Fourie again. Big carry by the prop forward. Lideman out the back. Smith shows and goes. Tries to get in behind the Stellenbosch defence. Looked after quite nicely by the Maroon Machine. Now Lideman, who finds Fourie again. Now into the hands. Now this time it's Fourie with a carry. Quick ball for Lideman. Bloodachru out the back. Smith looked after by Viat, straight on Paul Roos. Quick man into the hands of the captain. Philip Albert, Van Niekerk with a show and go. Good tackle by Paul Roos. Now Tyron Ross with his hands on the ball for the first time. Botha with a slip pass to his lock partner, Kiana Kitsia. Phase is being built by the Paarl Gymnasium team. Van Niekerk with a short line from Lideman. Lideman now finds Botha again out the back to Carl Smith. He knows just one way, and that's to go forward. Now Lideman again. Daniel Botha. Just centimetres short now are the Paarl Gymnasium team. Phases after phase they've built. Janelle Losper trying to get over. Kiana Kitsia couldn't hold on to that. Players haven't heard the whistle. Playing advantage did the referee. And they'd have to come back for the penalty right in front of the uprights of the Paarl Roos team.
Captain.
It's always good to see them play past the whistle.
Relentless attack here by the Paarl Gym boys, and I must be said, some really
Captain. Number 12.
fantastic defense as well by Paul Roos, not to allow
Captain.
men from Paarl Gym over the white line, and eventually resulting in a penalty. It'll be interesting to see what decision the captain decides to take.
All on the 5 meters. Stop.
But this game being played at a frantic pace, Andries.
Offside.
5 meters out. Looks like Carl Smith's going to look up the touchline.
Okay, boys, let's just sort out
And that
the
he does.
discipline.
We've mentioned this Paarl Gymnasium driving ball. They've used it to great effect in previous encounters with big schools in the form of Grey College, Help Makara and the likes. In the absence of Luca Backers, do they still have the same efficacy
Stop.
as they had in the past?
This is the last time I will ask you about the gap. Yes.
John Hanekom finds Kutsia.
No more.
Line out Maul.
You still have the ball.
Legally this time, says Mr. Haglin. Now Fanikat. Looked after by Haddad. Slow ball for the Paarl Gym team. Penalty advantage going the way of Paarl Gymnasium. And Morgs, you get the feeling that the referee will have a word to the captain of the Paarl Roos team. Second, third penalty in this part of the field in the last 2 minutes. Funny how quickly things change.
I'm just letting them talk quickly.
Yeah, quite interesting to see referee. I think that's a blanket warning across
Just check numbers with the infringements, guys.
for Paul Roos, and Paarl Gym will be wanting to keep up the pressure here, potentially result in a yellow card or a try.
Okay, keep the space, hey? Keep the space.
Third bite at the cherry for the men from Paarl. Hanekom finds Kutsia again. Now the driving ball is set. Once this thing gets going, it's tough to stop. With his hands on the ball in the back is Hanekom. Paarl Roos have done exceptionally well to stop this driving ball. Now Lideman finds Manikat. Strong carry by the captain. Lideman. Fourie now again. Slow ball for Paarl Roos. Now Smith breaks the first tackle. Did the young fly half. Lideman with quick ball. Labuskachny finds a bit of space. That is to Andre Manikat over for the first score of the game, filling the big shoes of Sean Ray for the first time in a first-team jersey, and over for the first 5-pointer of this exciting encounter.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was going to happen at some point, Andries. Andre van Niekerk eventually being the try scorer of some real impressive forward play, interplay between backs and forwards, and then just strong carries. There we see the replay. Strong carry by the fly-off. Quick ball is the order of the day, and then 2 passes out wide, and Andre van Niekerk scores the 5 points for his side with a kick to come. Score 5.
Straight through the middle by PR Van Niekerk, the inside centre and captain of this Paarl Gym team, taking over the kicking duties since Liam Kuhn cannot be on the field this afternoon. The third super quick Premier Inter-Schools of the season is certainly not disappointing. We've seen it all. 7 points played sick. Paarl Gymnasium into the strong win this afternoon. Christoph the Brain getting things started again. Up the right-hand side of the field into the hands of Dean Krause, who's a tough man to bring down. Releases and has another go. Eventually looked after by Sampi Hubert. Now Lindemann. Bladergroen. Draw and pass into the hands of his prop forward partner in Fourie. Lindemann coming back to the left-hand side now. Loaded toy. Looked after again. Lindemann into a bit of space. Is it John Hanekom? Lindemann again, and this is what Paarl Gymnasium will do. They'll hold on to the ball and force you to make tackles. The hoist by Lindemann. Pierre van Niekerk with a well-timed tackle on Ruben Noble. Stander now. Marais for Paarl Roos. Slowing things down are the Paarl Roos team. Stander setting up for the hoist. And does just that with Luke Graham giving chase. Looked after by Stein. Evades the first tackle, can't get away from Lorenzo Julius. Manages to turn that ball over. Is the big outside centre for Paarl Roos. Quick ball now needed for Paarl Roos. Taken on by the captain Lawrence and supported by Reno Hurst. Now it is Thunder, comes to Lorenzo Julius, puts it on the foot. Luke Graham giving chase and the ball winning that race. Exciting play by this Paarl Roos team.
Yeah, really exciting play by both sides. I thought it's not necessarily a bad option. There we see the kick coming. Very well taken out the air. The timing of the tackle extremely well timed as well. But support there, and Paarl Roos deep in their own half, needing to clear their lines in a very difficult part of the field to clear from.
Keanu Kutsia seems to be the lock of choice when it goes to the line-out ball. Now Smith under a bit of pressure, eventually brought to ground by Lopecher for Paarl Roos. In the left-hand corner, close to the own of Losper. I beg your pardon, Liederman finds De Bruin, who's got space. One to beat.
No effect.
Over the ball is Pierre van Niekerk. He is a tough person to get off the ball. Now into the hands of Julius. Finds Luke Graham, looked after by Enzo Laviskachny. Great defensive work by this Paarl Gymnasium team. Massive tackle on Daniel Marie. Paarl Gymnasium managing to slow down this ball. Now it's the captain, Lawrence again. Stander.
User, no.
Lopecher. Looked after by Willie de Waal. Slow ball again for Paarl Roos. Going up the left-hand side is Noble. Kick in behind. Charged down by Paarl Gymnasium, and this is where they come alive. Liederman finds the toy. Liederman again. Now there's space on the left-hand side. Losper, not the greatest pass out to Tyrone Ross, and unfortunately the ball not going to hand, and a scrum coming the way of Paarl Roos Gymnasium.
It's just so exciting, Andres. I mean, playing from end to end. Hands on knees, a couple of players hands on knees, 28 minutes in. But the pace of the game has been really, really impressive. The quality has been there. Interplay backs and forwards has been really good. And what a spectacle we've had after 28 minutes. Paarl Gym, although I would say probably fairly evenly poised at 7 points to 6 in terms of field possession and the wind that has been playing a role.
I'd say Paarl Gym have done exceptionally well to have the lead in this stage of the game. Paarl Roos have had most of the possession, played in the right parts of the field with those wins at their backs, turned down a couple of opportunities to go at goal, feeling they had a bit of momentum behind them. Let's look at Stander with another feed into the scrum. And what is so often the case, and this is for player safety and player welfare, if you don't get that scrum set perfectly, let's go to the reset and do this properly. Saying that as a backline player that knows absolutely nothing about scrummaging.
I was about to ask.
Crouch.
30 minutes into this game, time has just flown by.
Sit.
Spoiled with excitement. Stander. Into the hands of Noble. Julius couldn't look after that. Now De Bruin finds Brandt. A bit of space. Massive tackle on Brandt by his opposite number. The captain again, Herman Lawrence. He's been influential for his team. Great line by Lopecher. Look after by Keanu Kutsia. Now Reno Hurst, the man from Paris. Tough to bring down, man. They need more than one.
Leave. You pass the ball.
Slow ball for Paarl Roos. Juban. Ball tackled out of his hand, and this is it. Liederman. Losper wants it. Can't find it. That's the man, Lorenzo Julius over it.
No advantage.
Great turnover. That must, referee says to Lorenzo Julius, playing advantage and coming back for that. Exciting stuff. Scrum going the way of Paarl Gymnasium.
Yeah, just some time to breathe. There we see the replay.
Pass the ball first.
Great feet coming off the left foot, but met with some really solid defense by his opposite number there. I think it's Enzo Labiskachny who was the cover defender, but the intensity at which this game has been played, I cannot believe 30 minutes is already passed.
On your side.
Time for everyone to take a breathe or a breath there,
Yeah.
including myself.
Yellow ball.
It's been exciting times.
Just repeat.
5 minutes left in this first half of this super quick Premier Inter-Schools match between Paarl Gymnasium, the home team out here today, and Roos Gymnasium from Stellenbosch, the visitors. Supporters in full voice behind their team.
Okay, ball's available. So you will use it.
Liederman, Smith, kick over the top. Losberg, can he look after it? No, he can't. Now, Christoph de Bruin into a bit of space. Can he find the danger man? Lorenzo Julius goes down now. Stander, Loebscher breaks the first tackle. Penalty goes the way of Paarl Roos Gymnasium, and decision time for their captain, Herman Lawrence.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. It seems as if already the referee is appointed to the 3 points. He's kicked really well, this fullback has this afternoon. And as we've already mentioned, test match atmosphere. You take every point on offer
Just sort him
as
out
they
there.
come.
Sorry. Just sort him out there.
The mature call by Captain Herman Lawrence. Have worked hard, trailing by 1 point, playing with the breeze at the moment. Take the 3 points, get into the lead. 5 minutes before half-time is an exceptionally important time of the game to try and get momentum going into the half-time break and then starting well in the second half.
Yo, I know, your time, look there.
Christoph de Bruin with a trusty left foot. 35 meters out right in front. Good strike, flags are up. Paarl Roos take the lead once again. 9 points, play 7. 3 minutes to go in what has been a exciting first half between Paarl Gymnasium and Paarl Roos from Stellenbosch. A lot of passion on the side of the field as well. So we look at Carl Smith getting us going again into the hands of the danger man, Lorenzo Julius, opting to get some territory in his 10th way. And now Carl Smith once again, ball in hand. This is when they start to play. Paarl Gymnasium carried up by Lo de Toy, looked after by Paarl Roos. Space up the left-hand side into the hands of Dean John Fourie. Finds a bit of space. Daniel Bueta, the lock forward. He finds Liederman, who finds Ross. Brought down by de Bruin. Exciting stuff. Slow ball this time for the Paarl Gymnasium team. Fourie carries up the midfield. Ball spilled now. There's Paarl Roos with ball in hand. Lorenzo Julius, the danger man. Kick over the top. Was that the right decision? Precision right back in the hands of this Paarl Gymnasium team, and they can play from turnover ball. Slow ball, now you find Liederman Kutsia. Liederman, Bladdergroen waiting for it. He finds it, ball out the back to Smith. There is Janil Losper. Ball deemed to have gone forward. And the referee says that is it, although it does look like we still have a minute of play left. We don't want this to stop. Exciting time. Janil Losper, a very, very good young outside centre. As we look at this massive tackle and work done by the flower for Ruben Noble, just stripping that ball. An opportunity there for Paarl Roos, I thought, to keep hold of the ball a bit longer. Molds.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I thought they would, on turnover and 2 passes, get it into the wide channel, see if there's potential space, and then look to put on the boots. And I think just looking to put on the boots a little bit too early there was Lorenzo Julius, and unfortunately resulting in them still being stuck in their own half.
Stand under pressure from Dean Kraus.
Counter up,
Loaded
only
toy.
no hands.
Slow
No,
ball, yeah.
No hands.
Noble
As jy
digging it
uitlei
out.
lyn
Finding Loebshire,
10
met
seconds.
by Daniel Bueta.
It's time, Salami.
And low, the toy. Slow ball again. There it is. Liam Stander kicks it into touch. The referee says that is it. The first half is done and dusted. What an exciting first half we've had. We've seen a try being scored by Johanre van Niekerk for Paarl Gymnasium. And then 3 penalty goals by the fullback from Paul Roos, Christoph de Bruin. 9 points, place 7. Don't go anywhere. A massive second half coming your way.
Tackle the man, win the ball. I think it's opened up now to a good in the
Uyabona manje isikhathi samapopayi hey siyaphela. It's time to see ukuthi ababana amabhoza Grand Sharp
It's a win at all costs for both of these two sides.
ababana baphethe isitayela and can go all the way. Isikhathi sokuclaim isilverware phela manje.
And they're just here to fire one in.
OkaKhesari kubuyele kuKhesari. Siqede lesiqalile asimele lesisusile. Hey hey, and separate the best from the rest.
It's a shoot.
Ngoba wonke umuntu uyazi ukuthi legends are made in May. Don't miss the dramatic end of the football season on dedicated SuperSport channels at home or on the go. Thola i-DStv Compact to catch all the action for 429 rands per month. Kumnandi ekhaya.
He may be wearing a mask, but there's a huge smile under that for Warren Gatland. This is very, very important and very significant.
I'm not upset with anybody, I'm upset with myself. Because I maybe believed too much in you. And maybe you believed too much in me.
Welcome back to Paarl Gymnasium at the foothills of the Paarl Mountain. It's been a tightly fought contest this afternoon between Paarl Roos Gymnasium, the Maroon Machine from Stellenbosch, and the home team as we look at the only try of this game thus far. Carl Smith with a carry up the middle of the field. Quick ball for the Paarl Gymnasium team, and then one has to say bad defensive read by Noble, allowing Van Niekerk to go over for the only score of the first half and the only score of this game. Morgan.
Yeah, the only score of the game, you know, I thought Paul Roos had opportunities, a couple of unforced errors in that first half, and probably have needed to have scored 1 or 2 tries in that first half to really stand themselves in good stead going into the second, but nonetheless, fantastic opportunity here for them.
Carl Smith with ball in hand for the Paarl Gymnasium team. He's filling the boots of Liam Kuhn, son of former Springbok flyer of Louis Kuhn, currently involved with coaching in the South African rugby landscape. The scoreline is no indication of the excitement levels of this first half. We've seen a bit of everything in the first half, but exciting rugby certainly was part of that.
Yeah, I thought the quality's been really, really high. I thought the handling has been fantastic. I thought, you know, they controlled the breakdown, the interaction and the transitions between backs and forwards, the way the 10s have controlled the games. I thought both 9s have been really impressive. And it has been a real spectacle of schoolboy rugby in the Western Cape. But unfortunately, just a bit of a hold-up here, it seems.
Just trying to sort out the ref comms at the moment, Morgs. Looks like there are a bit of issues with the communication between the referee and the assistant referees. Important for them to get the information out to each other.
The less we hear from him, the better, isn't it, Andres?
And we haven't had to mention him a lot in this game. He's been outstanding as a referee, Lloyd Hagland, this afternoon. Great to see the headmaster from Paarl Gymnasium, Mr. Eddie Bateman, supporting his team as well. He's always there and present when any one of his schools participating. A true legend of this area and the school, and certainly someone that inspires his learners. Paarl Gymnasium, small school, boys and girls present in their school, always punching above their weight when you compare the number of boys they have in the school compared to the other traditional boys' schools in this area. They produced 174 Craven Week players from this small town and this school over the years.
Special mention to Ian Campbell McGeeky, better known as Miyagi. See, having some words with the Paul Roos backline. Extremely good coach, and these boys are being extremely well guided by him and his expertise.
Miyagi recently joined the Paul Roos coaching setup from Central High School in Bloemfontein. Someone that has a true passion for the game, and we saw the mistake made by Paul Roos in the first kickoff of the game, and again Carl Smith, I beg your pardon, with the wind at his back, not judging it to perfection, kicking that ball into touch, and Paul Roos with a line-out feed. Captain going up for it, Lawrence, I beg your pardon. Massive driving maul by the Paul Roos team, playing penalty advantage. Sampi Ubad coming on a strong line from way back. The captain again, Herman Lawrence, now into the hands of Loubser, the loose head prop. Now he finds his fly off Noble into the hands Groenewald. De Bruin kicks it in behind, read by Johanre van die Kerk. Exciting start to the second half. Fantastic drive by this Paul Roos pack of forwards.
Yeah, really good start there. You know, Paul Gym sacked really well in the first half. Seems to maybe just caught asleep in the start of the second half, and fantastic driving maul there by Paul Roos, taking them up to almost the 10-meter line of their own half before the penalty was conceded. And now an opportunity to clear their lines. The wind is against them, so the approach will be slightly different, I think, in the second half.
Okay, boys, with the discipline right now.
I think there would be a massive difference in the approach in the second half. Morgs playing into what is a strong wind at the moment against a very formidable Paarl Gymnasium team.
Sorry, these two balls and all that.
Seth Haddad with the line-out feed. Doesn't find his jumpers. Looked like Andreas Oosthuizen going up for that. Nonetheless, ball comes back the way of the Paarl Roos team. Stander. There he is, the big man, Reno Hurst, over his opposite number, who is stay down. Noble out the back, Groenewald under pressure with that pass now into the hands of Christian Brandt, and that ball has gone forward. Contact is real in this game, Morgs. Massive carry by Reno Hurst over his opposite number, who thankfully has recovered. And just as I say that, Reno Hurst gets replaced by Cameron Neal.
Yeah, the collisions have been massive in this encounter so far. And Substitutes, I suspect, will start to roll in. I think it's
So
been a
let's
bruising
make
affair
sure we
so
keep
far.
the space on
Andries,
Vine,
and,
eh?
as you already mentioned
Crouch.
before kickoff, I think these
Fine.
substitutions and the momentum that they bring to keep things up are going to be of utmost importance.
As is often the case when a new prop forward comes onto the field, that first scrum is never seems to be well gel, I might say. It's always a problem with that first scrum when new forwards come onto the field, and I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Spoken like a true centre.
Yep.
Can you just come slightly closer?
Paarl
Out.
Gymnasium trailing this game by 2 points, and they
Fine.
want to get onto the scoreboard
Sit.
as soon as possible, preferably next.
Okay.
Good scrum by Paarl Gymnasium. Liederman comes up the blind side, under pressure by his opposite number, and Stander just manages to break through a couple of tackles, and he's still going in. Henrik Liederman, fantastic stuff by the halfback. He's won some meters for his team now. Kraus picks and goes.
Tackle.
This is what Paarl Gym will do. Liederman, Buerta. Liederman, space on the left-hand side, into the hand of the captain. Van Niekerk, he's been well managed today by his opposite number. Lorenzo Julius with a massive play. In moments like these, you need your big players to stand up, and that is exactly what Lorenzo Julius has done.
Yeah, once he gets over that ball, he's extremely hard man to move. Low center of gravity, stocky, nice, big, strong legs. And
Get the numbers clear.
leg tackle resulting in the opportunity to Lorenzo Julius to get over that ball and make the steal.
Luke Graham looks up touch on the far right side of the field, in front of the main stand. As we look at this, Henrik Liederman, looked after by his opposite number, managed to spin free of 2 tackles, and then good tackle by De Bruin to bring him to his feet. Massive opportunity that was for the Paarl Gym team. Turnover by the influential Lorenzo Julius, taken by the captain Herman Lawrence, and this driving more has been impressive from Paul Roos. Just marching up the field, oh, the Maroon machine still going, breaking away. Now it is a replacement. Meal runs into his own player and forced a penalty for obstruction. Fantastic drive that was by the Paul Roos team.
Yeah, they just decided to adopt that shift drive now, because I think Paarl Gym have shown the ability to be able to sack that line-out jumper as he lands. The timing has been really impressive. So Paul Roos at halftime, the discussion must have been just come down and create a shift drive, and working wonders for the second time in the second half so far.
Breeze picking up as we go further into this game. Hanekom finds Keanu Kitsia. Hanekom again out the back. Carl Smith breaks the first tackle from Julius. Still going as this young individual eventually brought down Marco Buerta, Daniel Buerta, I might say, with a strong leg drive. Carl Smith has stayed down after that. Carry up the midfield.
Number 8, too slow, you offside.
Penalty goes away of this Paarl Gymnasium team, and I must say, Carl Smith does not look comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, looks a little bit groggy. I'm sure he'll be pulled off for a HIA.
No HIAs in schoolboy rugby. Morgs, always concerning when you see young gentlemen get knocked against the head on the rugby field. It's not something you want to be messing with. Having said that, looks like he's fine to go. Looks up touch, finds a good touch up the right-hand side of the field.
Boys. 6 boys.
So look at the Paarl Gym supporters out in their numbers.
Fantastic opportunity here for Paarl Gym to set up their own driving maul of and try and add to their 7 points.
Again up for it is.
Okay, no more collapse.
penalty advantage to this Paarl Gym team, and they've got the rolling maul sets and going forward. Another penalty advantage, and the referee is on his whistle with a bit more urgency than he'd normally be, and that is always an indication of something interesting to come.
Double blow. I'm sure he's going to the pocket already. He has.
Collapsing.
And
So we have time of,
as we said, he's gone to the pocket.
It's a massive moment in the context of this game. We're a couple of minutes into the second half. Paarl Gymnasium with the wind at their backs. Paarl is doing everything they can to keep them out, and now John Fourie, I beg your pardon, Volbelocha is on the sideline having to watch rugby for the next couple of minutes.
Boys, let's get the discipline right, please. Discipline.
John Hanekom. Again, Kiana Katsias has taken every line out for his team this afternoon. Well set driving maul, this is. On the front foot are the Paarl Gymnasium team, joined by the rest of the pack of forwards. And there it is, Paarl Gymnasium on the scoreboard for the second time, and it's that man, John Hanekom, that comes up with a pull. Well-deserved try for the home team this afternoon.
Yeah, forward pack try, that is. Paarl Gym showing they're able to dish it out as well, and once it's set so close to the line under, it's always difficult to stop.
Tough to stop a driving maul. Illegal obstruction in my opinion, or legal obstruction in my opinion.
You're opening up a whole can of worms.
Have to keep the forwards in the game. As we look at that driving maul, it was well set like she said, and then Paul Roos trying the utmost best to try and stop that driving maul. Well deserved try by the Paarl Gym team. Pierre van Niekerk, captain of this gym team, has taken over the kicking duties and a slight pull, and not succeeding with making that a 7-pointer. 3 points in it, 12 points plays 9. Paarl Gymnasium, the home team, taking the lead for the second time in this game.
Johan, get him ready so long, please.
A 14-men Paarl Roos team up against a very dangerous Paarl Gymnasium side. Christoph de Bruin taking his time to get this restart going. And now he does. Into the hands of Kutsia, who couldn't look after that. Double knock on. Uncharacteristic mistake by the home team.
Okay, the 8th man, you must go out. 8th man, who's 8th man? You must go to the back line.
Liederman just in picture earlier. The scrum off from Paarl Gymnasium. He's been influential today, Morgs. A good line break in the start of the second half. He's managed to get the ball away from the breakdown at exceptional pace.
Number 6,
putting his forwards on the front foot.
Paul Roos will have to bring off one of their Lucy's in order to have a full contingent in the front row. Of course, with the yellow card of one of their props.
Andreas Oosthuizen, the man,
Crouch.
being given the breather, and then the big man, Reno Hurst, back on the field.
Sit.
7-man scrum up against an 8-man scrum into the hands of Groenewald. Julius again looks after.
No.
Billy de Waal gets over the gain line, did the Paarl Roos outside centre into the hands of the captain. Influential player is Lawrence, now out the back. Ball gets moved. Had it. Breaks the first tackle.
Stay on your feet.
Slow ball this time for massive counter ruck by the Paarl Gymnasium team. Have they turned it over? Yes, they have. Now, Liederman into the hands of Carl Smith, who kicks up the field. Well read by Christoph de Bruin. Fullback into the hands, massive tackle. Lorenzo Julius still going, his opposite number. Struggling after that. Massive effort by Daniel Losper. Exciting stuff.
Lorenzo Juris is a man they just can't bring to ground.
There was a massive collision in the middle of the field. Referee Lloyd Hagelin just stopping play for the time being. I think he's concerned for the well-being of Daniel Losper after that contact. Just slowing things down is the referee. He's having none of it.
Get him off
He wants him
immediately.
off the field. I'm not quite sure what that is for. Morgs, massive contact.
No, sorry.
Lorenzo Julius has a massive set of eyes. He's got a strong middle, strong core, and exceptionally explosive.
Because it's a clear knock to the head, and he stumbled and he tried to get up. He
He's
needs to
not
get up
happy with
immediately.
something.
Thank you. It doesn't affect your subs.
And as we say that, Janil Losper marching off the field.
Diamond, scrum.
Massive carry there by Lorenzo Julius, and this one, massive tackle on Lorenzo Julius. I think the referee is of the opinion that he got a head knock. Looks like it is a shoulder injury to Janil Losper. Exciting play is this young man. Massive loss for the Paarl Gymnasium team.
6 minutes. Yeah.
As we see him being replaced by
Okay, time on, boys. Let's go.
Heniotto, who had an exceptionally good game for the Paarl Gymnasium second team just an hour ago.
No, not yet to eat. Crouch.
Another scrum in the middle of the field
Fine.
for Paarl Roos Gymnasium, 14 against 15.
Let's keep it up,
An
boys.
8-man scrum against 7 for Paarl Roos. Solid coming up the left-hand side. Noble with a kick through. Fielded this time by Enzo Laviskachny and giving free ball to Paarl Gymnasium. They come alive in these situations. Bueta up the midfield. Now Liederman. Slow ball. Finds Fourie out the back to Smith, who finds a bit of space again. Massive bump off by the fly half. Liederman. Kraus.
5 out. 5.
Liederman again. Bueta. Finds Enzo
Number 13
Laviskachny.
offside.
Penalty advantage coming the way of Paarl Gymnasium. Kraus finds Vladegroen.
Okay, we can't play on. There's just a man down there. Offside.
And there's a man down in the middle of the field, and I'm not surprised. The collisions in this game has just been enormous.
Yeah, I have to reiterate, the collisions have been enormous. The intensity at which the game has been played has been fantastic. And
Let's put the ball down here quickly.
a couple of substitutions have come on now, so very important that we keep up the momentum, keep up the intensity which the game is being played at.
Sampi Uber receiving some attention from the medical team. He's up and ready to go. He's been good today for Paarl Roos. Has this 5 lock for the men from Stellenbosch. Ready for more. Captain Paarl van Niekerk has had a quiet game by his standards, but he will inject himself sooner rather than later into this game. Make no mistake about that.
Okay, get your numbers
Good
clear.
touch found by the captain. And again, Hanekom with an opportunity to get
4 boys. 4.
the game going. Kiana
Discipline,
Katsian, the number
discipline.
5 jumper for Paarl Gymnasium, has been the player of choice when it comes to lineouts. Also the man calling the lineouts. And again, the recipient in the back of the lineout. Now Kraus moves the ball back to Hanekom, and this driving ball is on the front foot. What does the referee say? It's an 8-man pack against 7. Over the try line. It is the replacement, John Hanekom, filling the boots of Luca Bacchus, going over for the second score of this game for him. Fantastic driving ball by the Paarl Gymnasium pack of forwards.
Has to be said, Andres, how detrimental that yellow card has been. 2 5-pointers have been scored while with 14 men. There we see another driving ball, fantastic set. And unfortunately, Paarl Roos just not able to stop the momentum of that driving ball. Nobody really getting stuck in to try and stop it as a team effort. And another 5-pointer for the home side.
It's almost in exactly the same spot as the first driving ball try. Paarl van Niekerk. Again, just a slight pull to the left. It's almost a carbon copy of what happened a couple of minutes ago. And you mentioned it, Morgs, 14 men on the field. This Paarl Roos team, they're going to be stretched against a Paarl Gym attack with 15 men on the field. Almost impossible for them to look after a pack of forwards when you're a man down. Wilbur Locher standing on the side of the field, rearing to go back onto it.
Okay, let's keep going.
20 minutes left in this exciting, super quick Premier Inter-Schools clash. This time looked after by John Fourie.
Backwards.
Willie Duval, good to see him still on the field. Ball goes out wide. Enzo Labuskachny finds a bit of space, a tough man to bring down, and this is him, Paarl van Niekerk. I said he'd inject himself into the game. Captain for the Paarl Gymnasium team, finds Liederman. Brought down by the Paarl Roos team. Scrambled defense by Paarl Roos, coming up the right-hand side. Carl Smith, fly half, picking up in the scrum half position now. Into the hands of Bladdergroen, tough man to tackle. Brought down. There it is, John Fourie again. Looked after by Rianu Hurst, the man from Parijs in the Free State. Loaded toy. Liederman finds Smith. Back into the hands of Paarl van Niekerk. He stayed down after that previous carry. Smith again on the inside. Massive tackle on Willie Duval. Paarl van Niekerk doesn't look comfortable. There it is again, loaded toy. Scintillating stuff. Van Niekerk carries for the third time. Looked after by Jerenzo Julies. Now Liederman goes to the left-hand side. Kraus. Looked after by the captain, Locher, or Lawrence. Smith on the left-hand side. Finds a bit of space. Is it going to be? Yes, it is. Tyrone Ross over for the 4th try of the game for this very dangerous Paarl Gymnasium attacking outfit.
Yeah, very, very dangerous when this Paarl Gym side find momentum and the ball starts to stick. They are extremely dangerous. And there we saw it once again. Strong carries up the right-hand side of the field, only to go up to the left, and then great draw and pass, catch and pass up the left-hand side. And a fantastic finish by the young man in the corner.
The way the Paarl Gym team just hold on to the ball and keep on testing your defense is just amazing. And look at that. This is the back end of it. Carl Smith finding a bit of space. Enzo Labuskachny just being all over the park. Willie Duval with a final pass sends Tyrone Ross over in the corner. Concerning for the Paarl Gymnasium team is that captain Paarl van Niekerk struggled after that line break. Looked to be struggling with a hamstring injury. It's something that was concerning the coaching staff in the lead up to this game. Carl Smith taking over the kicking duties. Good strike, good kick. Added the 2 points, has the grade 11 student. Phenomenal cricketer as well, by all accounts. Paarl Gymnasium takes the lead, 24 points, plays 9. Paarl Roos up against it.
Quickly. Where's the play that is yellow carded?
Yeah, Paarl Roos backs to the wall now. Wind also in their faces. Will have to score next if they want to stay in this with the final 18 minutes still to be played.
Brain up the middle of the field.
Okay, hold, yellow, hold,
Smith
hold.
sees a bit of space,
Okay,
finds his opposite number. Noble looks after it nicely. Good tackle by the Paarl Gym team. Looks like Ben Pateau is on for Paarl Gymnasium. Coming up the blind outside, Stander. Noble with a kill kick through. Can he look after again? Well read by Joandre van Niekerk, try scorer in the first half. Penalty goes away of the Paarl Roos outfit. Ben Pateau, as mentioned earlier, has replaced Bernard Bladdergroen, the tight head prop from Paarl Roos. Took a bit of a knock earlier on with a defensive effort on his opposite number, Riano Hurst. Luke Graham finding touch and almost not finding touch into this wind.
Yeah. This is making a sub quickly. Okay, time on.
Volwer Locher onto the field after his sin bin. So too is Andreas Oosthuizen.
No more, leave it. It's too late.
Leinart sacked illegally, so carried by Haddad.
Tackle!
Into a wall of defense from Paarl Gymnasium. Sampi Uber. He has been inspirational for the men from Stellenbosch. Slow ball for Paarl Roos. Maroon Machine would want to score next if they want to give themselves any chance of clawing their way back into this game. Mill, the replacement. Slow ball for Paarl Roos.
Use it.
Haddad looked after by Paarl Gymnasium. Mill again, the replacement against
No, there's man over.
another replacement in Ben Pateau. Paarl Roos holding on to it. Slow ball for Liam Stander. Now, Schoen goes. Fantastic tackle. Finds Noble into the hands of Groenewald.
Leave it.
Stander waiting for it. Keeping it up front of Paarl Roos. Again, keeping it close. Concerning signs for Paarl Gymnasium as John Hanekom looks to be struggling. Penalty goes away of Paarl Roos, and again one of those very aggressive blows by the referee with a hand going close to the pocket. I don't know if it's in yet. Certainly had a word.
Seems as though blanket warning is gone in the other direction this time. Andries, next infringement I'm sure will be another stern.
It was that and offside.
Stern warning for the men from Paarl.
Collapsing and we have offsides.
Quick tap option being taken by Paarl Roos Gymnasium. You feel that they have to get the ball into the hands of the superstar Jerenzo Julius. Try scored! Can that be the man that was Sinbin, Wilbur Lopesha? Out of nothing comes a special try by the loose head prop from Paarl Roos, putting them right back into this game.
Yeah, it does put them right back into it. 24-14 with the kick to come. Wilbur Lopesha. Right call there by Paarl Roos. And
always the right call afterwards, eh, Morg? Hindsight makes perfect sight. I can tell you one thing, defensive coach from Paarl Gymnasium, Marnus Hichu, he will not be smiling from that defensive effort by the Paarl Gymnasium team. Caught unaware by a very sneaky Wilbur Lopesha. It's been very good today. Off the tee has Christoph de Bruin.
To bring play within 8 points with, what's that, 13 minutes to play.
Tough kick this is for Christoph de Bruin. There's a strong wind blowing right into his face. Not his best strike, Christoph de Bruin, but also the wind playing its part and unable to convert that try scored by the loose head prop in Wilbur Lopesha. 10 points in it, Morgs, 13 minutes to go as we look at this again. Just a carry up, the strong carry up the midfield and a place by Wilbur Lopesha. Carl Smith getting things going again. Upton to go to the left. Once again, ball going out directly, the wind playing its part and coming back for either the line out on the halfway line or Strum in the middle of the field. Looks like Willie de Vol has had enough of this day. He's had taken a couple of big knocks, have the open tight Vanker on the field as well for Paarl Gymnasium is Slabbert Martins in place of Daniel Bueta. Slabbert Martins was exceptional in the game played between the second teams of these two schools.
Out. Fine. That's the second time.
Penalty goes away of Paarl Roos, and it does look like they've got a bit of momentum going their way, Morgs.
Yeah, the tide has definitely turned slightly.
Let's make a decision.
This time it's in the favor of Paarl Roos. Can they convert it? Can they capitalize another time? And bring us to within 7 points in a scoring margin before the final 10 minutes of play.
Luke Graham finding touch.
Numbers, boys.
What looks like 30 meters out from the Paarl Gymnasium try line. this game by no means over. 10 points, 10 minutes to go. Important though for Paarl Roos to score next. Taken by their captain, Herman Lawrence. That driving more by the Paarl Roos team. They've seemed to be able to take yards at ease this afternoon. Ball being pulled down by the Paarl Gymnasium pack of forwards. And the referee going straight into the pocket. Looking for someone to send off.
Collapsing, yellow card.
And there it is.
Collapsing.
Looks like loaded toy being sent to the sin bin for pulling down that ball. And now
Collapsing.
we've got a Paarl Roos team with a man advantage in the last 10 minutes and leading by 10 points. Everything to play for. This super quick Premier Inter-Schools game, the third one of the year, certainly is not disappointing.
Definitely living up to all the hype that's been spoken about midweek, Andres.
Never easy to take one of those yellow cards for the team on the chin. Where stays in.
No more collapsing.
Another driving maul set up by the Paarl Roos team, looked after
Leave it. Tackle us, get out.
by Paarl Gymnasium now. Mill tackled by Martins, two replacements up against each other. Still going is Mill. Space on the left, taken by Sampi Uban.
Plenty of space in the blind.
Plenty of space up the left. Julius finds the captain, Herman Lawrence. He's been inspirational for this team from Stellenbosch. The Maroon Machine has come alive in the second half. 5-pointer goes the way of Paarl Roos Gymnasium. And look how much that is being enjoyed by the team. Well, the schoolboys from Paarl Roos. Sampi Uban has been phenomenal. There's numbers to burn on the left-hand side. Jerenzo Julius with a quick hands to his captain, Herman Lawrence, and over for a 5-pointer with a kick to come. 5 points in it with a Paarl Roos team that has the one-man advantage.
And the school Paarl Roos have found their voice once again. Gonna have to get behind their team as we play out this final 10 minutes.
Try unable to convert once again is Christophe De Bruin. Tough kicking conditions when you're kicking into the wind out here this afternoon. 5 points in at Morgs. We've got 8 minutes to go. We've got 14 against 15. We've got Paarl Roos with nothing to lose, and it's Paarl Gymnasium with more than enough experience to close out this game. Smith kicks up the midfield into that man's hands. Jerenzo Julius, tough man to bring down, looked after by the replacement in Neil Bierkus.
No.
Standard. He's had a good game today. Space again on the left-hand side if they decide to move it. Quick ball needed here for Paarl Roos. Now it comes. Noble finds his hooker in Seth Haddad. Standard now finds a replacement. Meal's been exceptional since he's been on the field. Stander again.
No.
Out the back. Noble. Julius. Tough man to tackle. Spick up the pass into the hands of White. Of Tyron Ross. Can he finish up? And the dead ball line wins that race.
Yeah, Jerenzo Julius there, just trying to force the pass. Potentially better to just hold on, but trying to force the pass, and very lucky to not concede another 5-pointer there for the ball going to ground. Takes play up to the 22, and it's been interesting, Andres, that both teams in the second half, or both teams that have played against the wind, have actually held onto the ball and put the ball through phases and actually scored more tries than with the wind at their backs.
So often it is the case if you've got the wind in your face, it's easier to handle and you're forced to keep hold of the ball. And we've said it in the past, Morgs, if you force opposition to make a lot of tackles, sooner or later they'll slip one. If you can hold on to the ball for long enough times, you could get rewarded for it. Pateau up against Wilbur Loach, who'd be fresh after a 10-minute rest earlier on in the second half. Noble couldn't hold on to that.
Okay, James, okay,
And
okay.
forced error by the Stellenbosch out half. And is this a massive moment in this game? Ill-disciplined by the Paarl Gymnasium team. Penalty goes away of Paarl Roos Gymnasium, and everything is going their way in the second half.
Okay, after I give you guys the scrum, he pushes his knee into the guy's chest. That's our necessary play. Okay?
It is indeed, Andres, and referee just explaining his decision. And Paarl is looking to find touch. Set up that driving maul that has worked so fantastically well for them this afternoon.
Number 10.
And look to
Number 10.
score another 5-pointer with 5 minutes to play.
5 points in it, 5 minutes to play with a man advantage is Paarl Roos. Paarl Gym will have to dig deep. Again, Lawrence, the captain. They've got that maul set. Going forward are.
Very tight call, I thought, of that, Andres.
Yeah, very, 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 very tight call. I'd say we're sitting right in line with that line out Morgs, and I thought that was straighter than any of the others we've seen out here this afternoon. Big call by the judge or the assistant referee. Nonetheless, scrum going the way of Paarl Gymnasium. In these instances, leading by 5 points on the halfway line, back with a win at your backs. You'd expect them to kick it into the corners and to try and pin the Paarl Roos team in that part of the field. But Paarl Roos have got this magic player in Lorenzo Julius that can score tries from anywhere. And you can expect the Paarl Gym guys to hold on to it. And there he does it! Lorenzo Julius, we've just mentioned his name! Under the poles! Magic try by Paarl Roos. What a shock to the system for the Paarl Gymnasium supporters and people out here this afternoon. Against all odds. Scores are levelled with a kick to come and 3 minutes to play.
You called it before the scrum was set, Andres. This man has the ability to make magic happen. He hasn't had the greatest afternoon by all accounts, but when it mattered, he put his hand up.
Incredible excitement out here at the Jan Kriel field in Paarl, with the men from Stellenbosch, the Maroon Machine, coming and up for the challenge against the Paarl Gymnasium team that are all accounts were the undoubted favourites this afternoon. Not over yet. Morgan Newman, 3 minutes to go, kick to come. Massive kick this is for Christoph de Bruyn. Good strike. Converts that try. Becomes a 7-pointer against the run of play. Paarl Roos leading this game again. 26 points, plays 24. We've got the whole Paarl Roos school on the field thinking that game was over. 3 minutes left to play. As we look at the highlight of that, Lorenzo Julius read it like a Walter Smith novel over the try line under the poles. 7-pointers. That man again looks after it. Lorenzo Julius.
No. No hands.
Paarl Roos, there he is. Sampi Uber.
No.
Lock forward. Space again on the left-hand side. Paarl Roos opting to keep it tight. By all accounts, we've got 2 minutes left in this game. Marie.
No, it's a rock.
Paarl Roos just slowing things down again. Wide straight on. Viat straight on.
No, leave it.
Again, Marie. The forwards keeping it tight. Now it's the captain, Herman Lawrence.
No more.
Marie again waiting for it, slowing it down.
Use it.
Assisted by Cameron Meal, the replacement. We've got the whole Paarl Roos team in that breakdown at the moment. Andreas Oosthuizen coming towards the sideline.
45.
Smart play this is by the Paarl Roos team. Again, Viat straight on. Is that a turnover? No. Ball goes away, turnover. Scrum, is this the last chance for the Paarl Gymnasium team? It's in moments like these when the big teams stand up, Morgan, We've seen it in the past. The All Blacks have done it plenty of times. Are these young men from Paarl capable of snatching victory from
Ja, he's going. Yeah.
the claws of defeat?
No, they counted up. Let's go, Loxin.
Yeah, this is where it really matters now. 26-24
Number 8.
in favor
Number 8.
of Paarl Roos. Scrum to Paul Jim on the 10-meter line of Paarl
No.
Roos. Seems the backs have something up their sleeve.
Fine.
14 men, Paarl Gymnasium
Yeah,
up
boys.
against
The rest of
the
the
15-man Paarl Roos with a scoreline that you would not have predicted in the start of this game. Against all odds, this Paarl Roos team have fought their way back into it against the wind with an intercept try from the magic man and Lorenzo Julius.
Ouch.
Last play of the game. Doesn't get any better than this. Super quick Premier Inter Schools. Brought to you by Super Sport Schools.
Use it.
Big
Use it.
scrum this is. 2 points in that. Captain Pierre van der Kerk carries into the midfield. Looked after by Westhuizen. Now it is for E.
No hands.
Discipline, the order of the day here. Smith keeps it tight. Does the young fly half. Held up.
Tackle.
Referee call the scrum. No, he's not. Replacement, Ben Pateau at the left-hand side of the field. Bierkus, the replacement. Is that the turnover they're wanting? Ball comes out the way of the Paarl Gym team. Smith. Captain knocks on. Massive tackle. Is that it? Viat straight in with the influential tackle into the hands of Standard. Kicks it into Gotchamp. That is it. Referee blows his whistle. We have seen magic out here this afternoon. Against all odds, Paarl Roos Gimnasium have come away victors. 26 points against 24. I cannot believe what my eyes are seeing at the moment.
Fantastic performance all round. I mean, rugby must be the winner at the end of the day, but such a fantastic performance from both teams, Andres.
Fantastic performance by the Paarl Roos teams. As we look at their scholars on the field, the home crowd absolutely stunned to silence. They did not see this coming. Great and just reward for a Paarl Roos team that has really dug deep to get into this Paarl Gymnasium team.
Yeah, this is their stuff. Yeah, I'm not. Where are they? Are they? Yeah, they want to touch. Yeah, let's go. No, we'll put back in. That's much again. I don't want it to say, hey,
Yeah. People want to take a photo, yo. That's good.
There we see it, the final score, 26 points to 24 in favor of the visiting side from Stellenbosch. And what a 70 minutes of rugby this has been. Man of the match for this afternoon was the man who scored the decisive try in the dying minutes of the game, Lorenzo Julius. Carried strongly throughout this afternoon. Defended extremely well, stole a number of balls on the ground, and is this afternoon's man of the match. We're going to quickly run through some of the highlights from the opening score. Came on behalf of the men from Paarl Gym. There we see it. Just running out of numbers defensively was Paarl Roos to score the opening try of the afternoon for Paarl Gym. Against the wind, against the run of play largely. Fantastic score. Then we saw the big driving ball just before halftime.
Oh, yeah.
Paarl Roos with a man in the sin bin, unfortunately numbered down. Unable to stop what has been an impressive driving ball throughout the afternoon from the home side.
Okay.
There we saw the second one as well.
Yeah.
Again, too much momentum
Yeah,
to be stopped.
yeah.
And then the third and fourth try came. Some fantastic hands down the left-hand touch line. Interplay between backs and forwards to score. Their final score we saw before we saw Paarl Roos kick into second gear and try and bounce back. There we saw hands, Lorenzo Julius. Again, quick hands out on the left-hand side to start the comeback of what was a really, really impressive second half against the win for the men from Paarl Roos. There we see the winning try was an intercept, read so well by your eventual man of the match, number 13 from Paarl Roos, Lorenzo Julius. A man with a bright future and one we will definitely keep an eye on as his career progresses. We're going to head down pitch side, chat with Andries, and of course your man of the match, Lorenzo Julius.
And our super quick man of the match being handed over by Henny Smith from super quick to Lorenzo Julius. Lorenzo, what a fantastic result for the boys from Stellenbosch.
Yes, I mean, we work hard. Started off rough this season, 2 losses at Noordside and losing last week, and I think we just wanted to put the pride back in the jersey.
You've mentioned you had a slow start to the season. What turned it around for you?
I think it's our last year. Most of us are matric, and the boys in the team, they didn't want to go down without the fight, and today we showed why.
What was said at halftime to turn it around with a win straight into your face to come back and win this match?
No, we knew it was going to be tough. The boys were a bit, how can I say, Gom is unbeaten, all that, but the coaches at halftime said we have this, and we just kept on believing, and then we got it.
Lorenzo, well done, well-deserved win for Paarl Roos.
Thank you very much.
There we see the final score for this afternoon. Paarl Roos 26, Paarl Gym 24, and what a fantastic spectacle of a rugby we had this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. It was your super quick Premier Schools match between Paarl Roos and Paarl Gym.
The picture that I got initially there was that they didn't even attempt to release it, some folding, and that's what caused the momentum forward. That is the picture that I got. It was like a ball. They tackled him on the ball, if I can put it like that. And then they pulled